Are you looking to upgrade your truck by adding running boards, but you want to maintain a clean, sleek factory look? Well, Boost Auto Parts has the product for you. Their Lumastep M2 powered running boards tucks up underneath the truck nicely, and you'd never know they were there. Hello, my name is Sean, and I'm with the Brothers Workshop, and today we're going to be diving into the Boost Auto Parts Lumastep M2 powered running board. Now, Boost Auto Parts was gracious enough to send us a pair of these running boards for my 2017 GMC Sierra 1500, and I gotta say, they look great. Unless you knew what you were looking for, you'd never know they were on the truck, and they rival anything else out there on the market today. Now, you could get several different configurations of these running boards, the bottom and most basic version being just the powered running boards. Now, they're all black, and that's exactly what I opted for because I wanted it to match my truck, and I didn't want to draw any attention to myself. If you like what you're seeing, please hit that like button for me, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos about the 2014 to 2019 Chevy Silverados and GMC Sierras that we all know and love. And if you're interested in getting a set of these Boost Auto Part power running boards, go ahead and take a look in the description below. We have a link right there for you. You might be thinking to yourself, how do you clean your rocker panels or the steps if they're always retracted? Well, you could actually hold them out for long enough that you can clean them. Check this out. All you have to do is open the door, the steps will retract, place your foot on the step, you'll hear a click, but you'll also feel the step trying to retract. If it feels your pressure, the step will stay down. Now, you could go ahead and clean the rocker panels of your truck and the steps. When you're ready to retract it, all you do is open the door, close it again, and they'll retract. Crew cab running bolts have 8 bolts, and at each one of those points, those 4 points, you have one going up and one going in. It's pretty easy. They're all 13 millimeter. The factory running boards are all held on by L brackets. We have to remove them here, and then there's some clips. I was hoping it'd be more graceful than that. Earlier we took the running boards off the truck, those OEM original ones that came with it. Right here I have all of the parts laid out. That way we could just dive into it without having to search for anything. But this is the front bracket. It's a power unit, so we have the motor on it. We have a support bracket, some bolts. We have all the tools we're going to need. The only tools that we're going to be using for this are a 13 millimeter socket with an extension, a flathead screwdriver, and a wrench. And then back here, this is probably the easiest thing we're going to be installing. This is your rear bracket. It's not powered and runs completely off. The front one, we have our tools, and again, we're going to be using a support bracket. So it's not like the OEM factory running boards. In fact, this is a little more complicated, but we only have 2 parts to install, so it might take a little less time. I've already gone ahead and installed the other side. So this side's a little more complicated because we do have to work around our parking brake, and we have to work around a wiring harness that runs along the frame of the truck. So we just want to be careful. We do have to move it, and I'll show you guys here in a second when we get up under the truck. All right, underneath the driver's side door here, we are taking a look at the frame rail. And we have this wiring harness up here and this brake line. And they're going to kind of get in the way here as we start to begin the install. But Boost Auto has given us some, it's like a foam padding that's going to go around the brake line. And we do have to move this up and push it out of the way for a few minutes. This bolt here goes up, and then our other bolt is going to go in So we're utilizing our pre-existing holes here. So we have the bottom one and the top one. The hardest thing here is lining everything up so that it fits. This is definitely not the easiest thing in the world to see, but we have this started here. Now, again, we used the smaller bolt and ran it into the pre-existing hole here. We're going to take the larger one now. We're going to go down in here. Now, the larger one has a kind of like a lock nut on it, and then we're going to be taking one of these metal rectangular bushings, and we're going to pop it up in there. And work our way from the top down. You guys can see how I had to move the wiring harness. It goes up and around it now. This is that wire protector I was talking about. All we're going to do is just kind of get it started and then work it onto the brake line. They have 3 of them. We're probably going to use all of it. So I'm just going to send this all the way forward here. You guys can see that we now have that protection around our parking brake wire. We're removing this grommet here so that we can add the support bracket. And each truck may be slightly different, but we're going to be taking this part here with that little plastic piece, and we're going to fish it down in there however it fits. That little plastic piece is going to help it stay in place. You guys can see that's labeled DF, driver's side front. It's going to slide on just like that. We're going to use our washers. And our lock washer, and then I'll put the nut on. I didn't over tighten it yet because we still have to take the other side here and attach it. Now we've already kind of lined it up where it needs to go here, just on top. We're going to be taking this part here and placing it behind and using smaller nuts, screwing it into place. We'll just tighten it down then. Once you have all the bolts and brackets in place, tighten them down, and then we move over to the back. It's pretty much the same thing, with the exception that you're not going to be messing around with any of the lines. To make life easy on me, I'm going to remove this grommet right now. And that's for the support bracket, but right now we're going to be taking a look at this little guy. This clip is very similar to the ones that came with the truck that we had to remove when we removed the OEM steps. So that just goes in there like that, and it's going to allow us to use the smaller screw here to attach the bracket. Let's start the install process. We're going to go ahead and take this big bolt, slide it back in just like the last time. We'll go ahead and take this. I've already added that plastic bolt to make it easier on me. Now we're using driver rear B because we have the crew cab. So go ahead and get that started. With that on, we're going to take this guy here and these small nuts. We're going to place it. We're going to get it into place here. now that I have both the driver's side and the passenger side brackets installed, it's time to install the wiring harness. Now, one thing I really like about this is that everything is labeled nice and clearly. You have driver's side motor, passenger side motor, and there you go. It's very, very easy. And we have this larger plug that will go into the module that's going to be placed near the battery when we get to that point. And you also have the battery terminal connectors. So we're going to go ahead and run these to where they have to go, both sides here of the truck, and then we'll go ahead and attach it to the battery so we can test it. Shining a light up underneath is helping me see the angles. I have to work a little better. And we're going to run it along the side here. There is a little gap right behind everything. All right. I'm taking this wire and I'm tucking it down inside there. Once we fished the wires all the way down through and ran them in a safe way, we can connect them. There you go, just like that. Now the driver's side is connected. Time to work on the passenger side in the same fashion. I have to undo the support bracket here in order to access the battery. And we'll disconnect the battery. We'll get this all connected, see how it works, and then we'll zip tie everything into place. Finally get to it. With the battery disconnected, we have to attach the ground and the positive for the steps. Okay. Battery positive disconnected. And connected. Now we'll take the power step ECU and plug it in to this large wire. We're going to have to cut this back a little bit. You can hear that connection. All right, we're going to leave this out here for a minute, but they do want us to tuck this down in here and zip tie it down. We have some zip tie ports that we'll be figuring out where to put it in a few minutes. Now it's time to wire the running boards so that they work. And we're looking at the driver's side of the vehicle, and we're specifically looking all the way down here at this massive rubber grommet. And we want to punch a hole through this so that we can run the wires in. I hope you guys understand that, because this is very difficult to understand in the Boost Auto video. They have this section under the rock lighting, so if you want to reference it, it's going to be under the rock lighting. But again, we're going to be punching through this grommet here. I've already gone ahead and plumbed all my wiring. The steps are hooked up, but out of this box comes this massive tube and then this little wire right here. It's very long and it has an open end on the other side here. So these right here are the other end of that wire, and we want to make sure that we plumb these through that grommet I just showed you, because these will plug into the back of the OBD2 port and power your steps. And now we're finally getting somewhere. I did have to remove the wire box in the front. This is how difficult this is to actually get to. Underneath the dashboard, I pulled out the electrical box. Basically, I just took the cover off and I removed 3 bolts. They're 10 millimeters each, just so I can maneuver it out of the way enough to get my hands in the back. Now there's a rubber grommet all the way back behind it. It's really hard to see, and I definitely am not getting the camera back there. But what I had to do was I had to force through the outside in the engine bay and then through the inside in this section here. And then I was able to pull the wire through. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at the OBD2 port, which is located right here. We're going to remove this, and then we'll have to splice into the OBD2 port so these will work. Our kit from Boost Auto comes complete with T-ties, and these T-ties are going to be used to connect the wires. To remove the OBD2 port, we're going to use a 7mm wrench, socket. Once the OBD2 port is unscrewed, we'll just take it down here. We have to pull it down a little bit so we can see what we're working with. And we are going to be connecting our T-screws. We're going to be connecting our T-taps into the wires. And we're going to be doing number 6 and 14. Now 6 and 14 are going to be directly across from each other. 6 is going to be labeled right here on the bottom. We're just going to go ahead and wrap it around, set it in there, close it till we hear it clip. On the back end here, on pin 14, do the exact same thing. "14" gets the yellow wire, and that's labeled low. All right. That's in there. Now we'll be taking the wire labeled high and putting it into number 6. Now that everything is installed, we'll go ahead and open the door and check it out. It finally works. We'll leave that door open. We've pulled this out manually because the back one is manual, and then we'll go ahead and we'll set the running boards on there, and then we'll shimmy them either left or right to adjust it. Take your running board, flip it over. And we're going to take the hardware that came with it. We're going to slide it into the slot underneath. And then we'll just do that with all of them and line them up to where we think they're going to need to be. Once they're in, we'll go ahead and put the hardware on just hand tight until we get it exactly where we want. Once you're happy with the alignment of your steps, go ahead and tighten them down. I hope you were able to learn something, and if you did, please hit that like button for me, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos about the 2014 to 2019 GM trucks that we all know and love. And if you're interested in these trucks, go ahead and click or tap the screen right here. That's a playlist all about them. If you're interested in the older classic trucks, we have a 1966 Chevy C20 that we restored. The playlist is linked right here. And if you're interested in architecture and design, go ahead and click and tap the screen right here for a playlist all about that. And we'll catch you in the next one.